you, folks. This is Bill Stern with another thrilling story from the world of sports.
Airport, where constellations of the sky bring the Easterner to the romantic and colorful West that was once wild and woolly. It's less time than breakfast to afternoon tea from any spot in the United States to the capital of the Dude Ranch country in old Arizona. Apartment house cliff dwellers from the city pavements with a yen for the wide open spaces are sure of a hearty Western welcome, because dudes are big business. There are 114 dude ranches in Arizona alone. The neighboring southwestern states bring the total to something like 500. Out here, the West begins with a stagecoach ride that's right out of the pages of Dead-Eyed Dick. The trails, which are so historic, have been the background for many a movie. The drivers who meet you aren't likely to be from the corner of Hollywood and Vine, but real honest-to-goodness cowhands who give with a "Howdy, ma'am," but who know how to handle dogies as well as dudes. All aboard, partner. We got a heap of traveling to do before sundown. There are two kinds of dude ranches. Those that are regular working ranches where the chief business is cattle, those whose main industry is catering to guests. In either case, you're likely to find magnificent stretches of mountain scenery with the clearest air and the most colorful skies in the world, with vast stretches of breathless and beautiful silence. We're at the famous and luxurious Rancho de Los Caballeros in the Wickenburg area, some 50 miles west of Phoenix, a real working cattle ranch that lies in the brooding shadow of Vulture Peak, from which renowned Vulture Mine took its name. Strange species of shrub and cactus, wonderfully exotic when in blossom, dot the desert plains that lie in the Valley of the Sun. With arms like huge semaphores standing guard over the loneliness of the desert, this is the most familiar of all species of cactus, thanks to Western movies. When it comes to sport and exercise, the Dude Ranch gives it to you with variations you can't find at the ordinary vacation spot. And there's plenty of room to spread out. If you're in condition for it, you can ride all day long, although the most comfortable way to work is to get up to it gradually. You don't have to be Buffalo Bill, because your cowboy hosts will give you something you can ride even if you've never been on a hobby horse, and you'll get scenery with your sport. There's just about everything except the seashore on the 45,000 acres of Los Caballeros. 45,000 acres, that's 2.5 times bigger than Manhattan Island. Purple mountain ranges rolling across the desert, where the warlike Apaches and the Navajos once made their stand against the encroachment of the white man's civilization. Trails over which the 49ers rode to California, and the gold country with Kit Carson and John Fremont, the Pathfinder. You ride the trails of history and tradition. We're heading for the hills right now, along the trail which old Henry Wickenburg took on his prospecting venture to Vulture Mountain back in the 1860s. The town of Wickenburg takes its name from the famous miner who staked out the claim which paid out more than $20 million in the years during which it was worked. It's far more valuable even than that today, because as an authentic reminder of the fabulous West, it's prime draw refugees from subways and city pavements. Right now, we're about half a mile above sea level and coming to the entrance to Vulture Mine. It's estimated that a couple of thousand tourists in Levi's and high-heel boots ride up here every year to commune with the ghosts of bygone adventurers whose cry of gold made the West a magnet for the get-rich-quick boys of a century ago. Time out for chow, chuck wagon style, cooked over an open fire. It's not so cramped as a kitchenette for the gals, and just the thing for the guy with the city-bred ulcers. The bracing desert and mountain air, plus the exercise and the good company, give a man appetite enough to eat a horse. That is, he'd eat a horse if he didn't have to ride it back. Out here, all 3 squares a day are more than merely meals. It gets so they're a real sporting proposition. Water. Water. A whole swimming pool full of it in the middle of the desert with mermaids yet. Why, an old desert rat'd swear he was seeing a mirage. All the luxuries of any vacation resort. Only here in the Valley of the Sun, you can swim outdoors like this all year round. Shuffleboard. On the deck of a ship in the desert, no doubt. Probably for those who dislike just sitting after the long morning ride. There's sport for those who like the net game, too. No matter what time of year, you're pretty sure not to be rained out, since they average 320 sunshiny days every year. Talk about variety of sports. They sure mix it up at Los Caballeros. And another one bites the dust. Just the thing to keep your shooting irons from rusting. There hasn't been so much shooting since the engine wars. Now, who said west is west and east is east and never the twain shall meet? They run smack into each other here in the middle of the desert at Wickenburg Country Club. Just 2 hoops and a holler from Los Caballeros. And here's a switch. The horse is the caddy. Another feats course. It's grass all the way around. Green bush grass in the middle of the Arizona desert. Cowboy, keep your eye on that ball. Which way, ma'am? Why, that-a-way. Every week, the dude ranchers in the Wickenburg area get together with the paying customers and put on a real roundup with buck and bronc riding and all the Wild West trimming. Of course, you don't have to go in for any of the events if you prefer to sit on the rail with me. Now, here's a guest event for the cowboys and gals from the corner drugstore. One length of the corral, dismounting and leading the horse back to the starting line. And just a week ago, they were running for the downtown bus. Whoever loses can blame it on the horse. Last one back's a darn dude. A big hand for pretty Patty Allen, daughter of the ranch foreman at Los Caballeros. She performs in the big-time rodeo circuit and uses her earnings to pay her college tuition. Here's Patty's mom, Mrs. Jean Allen. She's been riding like this in rodeos for 15 years. Sure keeps a gal young, which Jean is under 35. Here's daughter again, a real gal of the Golden West. She certainly has learned a lot from hanging around horses. Look at this. And after all, you've heard about hanging onto a horse with your knees. You can't teach everyone to ride like that. Some just don't believe the horse is here to stay. And you know, this horse doesn't believe this rider's here to stay. There are some other ranches besides Caballeros, all famous in the dude ranch business. Monte Vista, KL Bar, Slash Bar K. Looks like that wrangler's on to stay until some console helps him off. That's what you call teamwork. And he made it just in time. It's not always fast and furious. That there calf critter, for instance. If he doesn't exactly stop the show, he sure slows it down to a walk. Hey, this buckaroo's having a tough time with that little doggy there. That little fella doesn't know when he's licked. Here's one sport that always ends up in a tie. For the city femme or fellow with a yen for a real sporting vacation, there's nothing but wide open spaces in the dude ranch capital of the world. When the guys in the office start yakety-yakking about the fish that got away, brother, you can just sit back and tell them the true one about the bull that got away.